Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And as we know, we currently have the 11-11 day celebration going on, which has a stamina usage mission. And at the end of that, we're almost halfway, about halfway there, we get a EX Selector ticket. Now, when this was first announced, we didn't know if this was going to be a special ticket or the same ticket that you could pay money for that like beginners could get and has access to I think every single EX character up through antagonist Shinsha. Well, earlier today we found out exactly what it was going to be because if we go into the shop in the event tab, there is a separate special bazaar for this ticket. So obviously they expect us to hit it, otherwise they wouldn't put it in so friggin' early. And the list of units you can pick from is quite not overly great. Instead of going all the way to antagonist Shinsha, it's going to wielder of magic Shinsha. So we're missing a full year of EX characters beyond this one. So kind of unfortunate. There are still some decent picks, but you got to remember that these characters are quite old, over a year old at Shinsha. So it's a year and then plus Fountain of Wisdom Rimuru came out in March of 2023. So it's November. It's been a while for a lot of these characters. So today we're just going to go over the best picks that you can get. Now that it's not such a huge list, it does make it easier to do. There aren't as many options. So let me pull over this tier list that I made for you guys. All right, so out of all of these unit picks, I have narrowed it down to these tiers. So first off, Vengeance Raphael. Probably the best unit you can get out of that batch if you don't already have him. He has the Vengeance mechanic. He's a defensive character. He will keep you alive in 99.9% of scenarios and will also enable you to kill most things in 99.9% of scenarios because of the Vengeance mechanic. If you don't know what Vengeance Raphael does and you do not understand why he's so high, go look up a video that has Vengeance in the name, and you'll get a pretty good understanding of what makes him so good. Moving down from that, we've got two triple orb stealers in here, both Bride Shuna and Summer Hinata. If you need a triple orb stealer, these are two of the three that we have currently, because the only other one is the Wind Masked Hero. So if you're missing this one key thing to make New Year's Blessing Rimuru and like a Valor team work, or you just want a triple orb stealer to eliminate a bunch of RNG, these are good. Shuna is magic focused and Hinata is physical, so you can take your pick. Are you using a more physical team that requires a physical stealer, or do you need a magic team with a magic stealer? That's going to be up to you. And then we move down to the best support units out of the batch, which are going to be Warrior's Mind, Guy, and Violet. Both are on physical crit focused teams. Guy with his 80% alt damage to everybody, and then physical allies get guaranteed crits. That can be really impactful. And he's got a triple orb change, 2 greens and 1 orange to 3 blues. So blue team support, big time alt damage support, and can also give crits. It makes him still really good to this day, even though he came out on the 1.5 anniversary. And then the same with Violet. She changes her own orbs to blues and then has a alt resistance down and physical allies crit damage up buff. And she just got a skill fusion, which made that skill even better. And you don't need to have her at 120 to do it. You can just level her up to the base 100, and then you can skill fuse her and make her just immediately better, which is good. So both of them are good for blue teams that are crit focused, that are also physical teams. If you don't have a physical team at all, like your only team is the Divine General team, maybe not the best picks for you, because they don't want any of these skills realistically. And then Fountain of Wisdom Rimuru, also a good physical buffer and an orb changer. He also has a skill fusion for his orb change, so he can change now any 2 orbs to blues. And then his 65% physical buff and physical resistance down are again really good for physical teams. So this great support is just physical, and unfortunately, like the other magic units, like Rain, you could use Shizu's weakness strike. There's not actually a lot of magic teams to be had in here, besides Vengeance, which these two characters are terrible. So I wish there was a bit more variety in magic supports, but there isn't. So this is the best you can get. And then we have some very specific units that are going to be dependent on what you're trying to do. Summer Millum is a good AoE DPS character who's dark, so she works really well in Valor Cup if you have physical teams. So like if you have Fountain Wisdom, Reimu, and Millum, and you have a triple orb stealer Hinata, like that's three of the four units that you really need besides New Year's Shion to really make that team work and go boom. So she can be a specific use case of I need an AoE dark DPS. Shinsha, as one of the magic characters in this group, she is a DPS character, single target, but she gives a lot of different buffs to orange orbs. She gives orange orbs extra protection gauge and extra just raw damage for the orb while being a single target DPS. So if you are running an orange team and you need a little bit extra support on it, she can be a pickup for you, but just know that she is meant to be used as the DPS, not as a secondary support unit for other people. So kind of depends. And then the light masked hero, single alt swap to green. Like maybe you need that right now for the Divine General team because you're not going to pull for Blanc and you don't have access to Shizu or Idol Shuna. But you need a green alt swapper. Like the hero can get that done. She's one of the, 4 characters now that can do it for green orbs. So again, very specific use case. Her other skill lowers element resistance and gives orbs an extra 50% damage buff for all of them. So like every orb gets a 50% buff for one turn. These are what I would say are the best picks. If you don't have Vengeance Raphael, you probably your best option to pick up, unless you really, really need a triple orb stealer. And then everything else is kind of be dependent. Like these are all physical focused, so if you've got a full magic team, like these characters aren't really going to make much sense. You could pick them up in hopes of picking up a good physical team later on, but they're not going to help you immediately. And then these characters are highly specific to what you're trying to do. So it's not the greatest list of characters. If it had been this 11 or this EX free choice banner with literally everyone, this list would be much bigger and it'd be much more difficult, but there would also be a lot more different support options you can pick from, like Soe for magic synergy, or Hinata for physical crit, or Shizu for commander physical and EX alt damage and orb changing. Like there were a lot of really good picks in here. We have New Year's Reimu for rainbows, same with Exalted Champion Rimuru. Like this would have been a lot better, but unfortunately it's not. So we have to go with what we're given, and we were given this. If you don't like any of these picks, I mean, that's a personal choice. It's up to you. You can take anyone out of here. If you're missing one character out of a full meta and you really want to complete the set, then you can do that. If you want to choose waifu over meta and you want Rain or you want Shizu or Lumi, like, be my guest. Again, this is just my suggestions for people who are unsure of what to get, maybe because they don't know, or they've narrowed it down to like some of these, and I'm just trying to give them a little bit of insight as to why I think X character is better than Y character. So those are my thoughts. I mean, Vengeance Raphael still is to the day one of the best characters, if not the best character in the game, and it's very hard to debate that. Lots of stages are trying to nerf him down because they realize how good he is, and they've been doing that for the past year and change now. And then it's all going to be dependent on what you need. But hey, that's it for me, guys. Let me know what you're going to pick in the comments below. Are you going to pick one of these characters because I told you that they're good? Or are you going to go with someone else on this list because of your own personal reasons? Let me know in the comments. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.